Welcome to the Pool Kind of Podcast, the new home for boxing. My name is Wendy, and I am your host and curator, bringing you the most honest takes on the sport I love without the bias and without the politics. The spot where we can all eat, seasoned veterans to the game and newcomers alike. So stay strapped in, subscribe, wrap those hands right, give us 5 stars, and keep that chin tucked. Tell your people about us. So who you got? The Pool Kind of Podcast. Let's go. Thank you for tuning back into the Pool Kind of Podcast. My name, as you should already know, is Wendy, and I am here with my guy Brandon. Brandon, say what's up to the people.
What's the word?
What's the word?
I'm happy to be back, man. What's going on?
Love it, man. You a resident at this point.
That's a fact.
You just a resident at
Locked
this point,
in.
dog. I'm gonna just be like from now on, hey, y'all already know who's here.
Hey, that's a
y'all
fact.
already know. You know what I mean? Y'all know why we here. All right, so we got a lot of fights to recap, bro, from the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, bro, I'm excited.
Yeah,
we got a lot to talk about.
Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it, because this is really like, what, 2.5 weeks of fights or something like that?
Yeah, really.
But yeah, let's get to it, man. First fight I want to talk about in recaps is going to be a youngin' that I actually like. I like this guy a lot, all right? His name is Diego Pacheco, and he fought a guy named Shawn McCalman, all right? And Diego Pacheco, by the way, for those that don't know, is only 23 years old. I think he's going to be a future champ. And this was one of those fights that definitely tested him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of surprised. I think a lot of people expected McCalman to fold. But you know what? McCalman made a new fan out of me.
For sure.
Because I kind of like what I saw.
I feel like this fight was like why people love pro boxing, right? Because, you know, especially when a lot of power punchers are coming up, you just assume that everybody, when you're knocking people out, anybody you touch is going to go down. Right. And Pacheco landed good punches.
He did.
But McCalman was able to weather them and answer back a little bit. Right. So I really think this was I definitely think Pacheco won, by the way. I just want to put that out there. Right. But I think this was a learning experience for him in regards to like, okay, when a guy doesn't go down from these punches, right? What is your go-to, right? What are you going to do next? Right, and just kind of evolving on those skills. He has a great team around him.
He does.
Being with the Mexican Monster's father and working closely with that camp.
Right.
I thought that was pretty dope that they would even take him in just because they're so close in weight, first and foremost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they're basically the same weight class, you know? So I think that Pacheco has some learning to do.
For sure.
He's not ready.
23.
He's 23.
Yeah.
Only reason why I say that is prior to the fight build up, he was kind of talking like he was ready for
bigger names.
Like he mentioned he was possibly like a year away from Canelo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I see that just yet. Like you mentioned, he's only 23. Like why rush, right? There's going to be a big fight for him down the line if it's not Canelo.
Right.
I'm
still a big fan, but this fight did show me that he ain't ready for that level yet.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I like what I saw from McCalman.
Yeah.
I expected him to come and get laid down easy.
Yeah.
But he showed great boxing ability. Power was lacking, but he was slick. He was
Pacheco's a big guy, though.
He is. He is.
Guy.
I think switching game plan would have been a little better.
Like
I know
you moving a little bit.
Just a little switch in the game plan would have probably worked a little better for him. But like you said, he clearly won. It's just I was expecting a little more out of Pacheco, but I'm still a fan, and I still think he is going to be a future champion. So salute to him on the win, though.
For sure.
Let's see.
Just not to cut you off. Did you see the Mexican Monsters interview at the fight?
Which one?
So they just interviewed him like ringside. Oh, my man was toasted.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not mad at it though. You know, if you don't got a fight coming up, but he was like slurring his words. You could see he was trying to like drink water before and stuff. My man was done.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
But I like when people enjoy their lives. I know that's tough. He's a boxer. Right. But he looks like he's on weight and stuff, so whatever. You know what I mean? Looks like he's in shape.
I'm not mad at all.
He was drunk though.
I'm not mad at all, but I'm not surprised at the same time. You know what I mean? Not surprised at all.
It was funny.
Right. All right, so another fight, man, from that night was Richardson Hitchens, bro.
Yeah.
And he fought Gustavo Lemos.
Yeah.
That fight I actually did enjoy. I think talking about challenges, that was a huge challenge for Hitchens. I don't think I've seen Hitchens struggle in a fight this much.
I got a question for you.
What's up, bro?
Do you think he won?
Yes. I do think he won.
Okay.
I think 117-11 has become the signature robbery card.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying? That's the robbery. If you ever see 117-11, somebody got robbed. Somebody got robbed
That's
somewhere.
Tough.
Not the fight, but that card in particular was nuts.
Yeah,
it was kind of crazy though.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he was getting cracked.
I would say my only issue.
Yeah,
is I have a few issues.
Okay.
The referee never even warned Richardson about holding one time.
No, he did. He was holding. No, I think he did warn. No, he didn't warn him.
I think he didn't even take no points. He didn't do nothing to him about the holding, and it was like Richardson at one point was like jabbing, and then an immediate hold.
Yeah,
no try to. It was an immediate, like he was holding. They were dancing for a second.
And you guys out there, we've talked about these younger fighters, right? I think maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago, maybe we talked about these younger guys, who seem to be on the cusp. But I said something to the effect of, they're good, they're great, even great boxers, Olympic pedigree, but like they don't got that it thing. They don't have that thing.
Something that separates them
at this point. That makes them like top of the heap, A+ class, like that Crawford, that young Canelo. They don't have that, like that Mayweather. They don't have that it. I don't see that yet. Now you can learn it. Like I think you can get that, but I think sometimes there's also that thing that makes you special, like a Jaron Ennis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe, no, I was going to say, what's his name? The cat from the UK, but I'm not convinced yet. Ben Whitaker.
Okay.
I'm not convinced yet.
Yeah. We got to see him against different competition.
Come to the U.S. I want to see him in the U.S. first. But he looks nice, but I got to see him in the U.S. But Hitchens, that was a fight that I'm glad he had.
He needed it.
He needed that. Yeah. He needed a test like that. And Lemos is no slump. I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, my only thing is that, man, like Lemos landed. He had Richardson hurt.
Yes, he did.
Like probably four times at least. Like Richardson was visibly hurt. I think that's the one thing too, is like you could clearly see that Lemos' shots were like troubling Richardson.
Right.
And in my opinion, that does affect the scoring. Because this is prize fighting, and the clear effective punches, like he was affected by those punches a few different times. Now his jab was good, the movement was okay. But I think the main difference from the guys you named and the guys that we see struggle, a lot of these young guys that like some of the attributes that Floyd has with the defense and the movement can't fight in close.
Nah, they not fighting in no phone booth.
They're not fighting in the phone booth.
And I think they got the wrong strategy from Floyd. They didn't see all the other stuff that went into what Floyd was doing. Yeah. They did not see Pretty. They don't know what Pretty Boy is.
Yeah.
They don't know what Pretty Boy is, unfortunately. They just know the slick holding and moving and like it's more to that, bro.
Because the fighters you named all have that different switch that they could go to. Hey, I'm getting pressure too much. Let me close the distance. Let me be in close.
They can bang. They can bang too.
Right. They can bite down.
And I think that's what is missing from Hitchenson's game right now. I have this thing where I talk about certain fighters, the ones that we know about, like the ones that have that kind of pedigree that we look at like, okay, he might be the next one.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talked about, I think, the grading scale before, like A, B, C, whatever. But I also have this thing where I'm like, can I see him remaining undefeated?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good.
Can I see him remaining undefeated? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hitchens, I think, and salute to him, but I think he got a good 3 more fights. The higher he goes up, the challenges are going to get tougher than Lemos.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the one thing is, though, like for some guys, styles make fights.
Of course.
There's clearly a style of fighter that he doesn't do well against. Big pressure fighters. And if you can land like looping punches,
he was looping everything, but that was coming, bro. Like,
oh my goodness,
that right was coming, but he got hit way too much, bro.
Yeah,
he got hit way too much, and to me, that's
supposed
unacceptable.
to be a defensive guy. Yeah, I agree with you.
To me, that's a bit unacceptable for a fighter of his caliber, or supposed to be a higher caliber. So. But we'll see. Salute to him still. I mean.
Salute to Richardson. I just think, do you think he was too distracted? It was a lot of Devin Haney talk leading up to this, man.
Though,
it's a lot of Devin talk leading up, bro.
You got to respect. I'm going to respect the opponent, dog. Like, I got to. He knew he had a fight coming up.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I saw clip after clip after clip.
He was talking a lot.
Him talking about Devin.
He was talking a lot.
And it's like, man.
Some guys should leave it up to the publicist. You just worry about the fight, big dog.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Just worry about that. Don't worry about anything else. We don't want to hear nothing else. You focus on the fight. That's it.
They gave us a great fight though. So
it was a great fight. It was a great fight.
Sure.
For what it was, you know what I mean? But that 117-11, please. Again, whenever y'all see 117, 111, Nah. Something happened. All right. Yeah. I ain't gonna go. I was about to say it must have been a woman on the.
I want to talk about a fighter that fought on the prelims real quick.
What's up?
So his name was Steven Navarro, right? And he's out of California.
Yeah.
Was one of our best Olympic amateurs that we had coming out, and he had his pro debut. Mm-hmm. He fought, I want to say, like a 6 or 8 rounder. Fought like a real pro his first fight.
Yeah.
With multiple wins, and he ended up stopping him. I want to say in like the last round, like the 8th round.
And
he just showed so many dimensions. Mm-hmm. He fought southpaw, he fought orthodox, he fought close, he fought far, he boxed, he fought going backwards. He was very impressive.
Is he looking like one of those ones right now?
He's one of those ones.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
I gotta catch his next one.
Yeah, I just wanted to just mention that because he was the most impressive fighter on the card to me.
Oh wow! And salute to him, by the way, because. We're going to get to in a moment another guy who is a young cat, had another 8 rounder. You already know what I'm talking about. We'll get there.
Yeah.
First, though, let's not leave Hitchens right quick.
Yeah.
Or Hitchens, because he talked about Subriel Matias. Yeah. You heard his comments.
Stay away.
Why would you say that, bruh?
Stay away.
Like, for those that don't know out there, so Subriel Matias is a monster in the division right now.
Yeah.
Right? He's a monster in the division.
Boogeyman.
The boogeyman, they're calling him. Only person that don't call him that is Devin Haney, by the way. Yeah. But Hitchens went on record to say, I'm staying away from him. I haven't heard, like, nobody says this, bro. Yeah. Like, that's the stuff you keep to you and your team. Like, that's it. Nobody in public in front of a camera says, I'm staying away from him because he's too tough.
Sometimes them lights get bright, though, right? So, crazy. Like, he just had that fight, and that fight, the win over Lemos made Hitchens the -- mandatory for the IBF, which is Subriel Matias' belt. So, I heard him mention also, he's like, if we fight, I would like another fight in between that. Like another fight in between the world championship fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's good self-awareness.
I'm sorry, but he
lost
a little bit for me.
I'm not ready.
He lost a little bit for me. I'm not right.
No,
I don't want to see my fighter do. I don't want to see
in moments of weakness.
I don't want
Did you see the little post he did on Instagram? I thought it was funny.
Nah, which one?
He posted like the pictures of his fight. And you remember when T.O. won, but he was kind of questionable, and he was like,
"Still got it."
He put that as the caption.
Oh, wow.
I think that was funny.
That's a little funny. Yeah. At least he has a sense of humor. He can joke with himself.
Self-awareness is important.
Self-awareness, exactly. Sure. All right, so hey, again, shout out to him, man. Sure, and shout out to Lemos. I want to see his next one. I'm looking forward to that.
And this is the last quick question on this fight,
go ahead.
Right?
This is your show, man. Go ahead.
Look, he called out Shakur in his last fight and said that Shakur should have fought a rematch.
Okay,
because the fight was closely disputed.
Right.
Richardson should give this kid a rematch.
Absolutely.
That's just how I feel.
Absolutely. But it ain't smart.
It ain't smart. But you said it. You said it. So I think this kid deserves a rematch.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
It ain't smart for him though.
And I think for his career, because people say he's not that attractive to watch or that entertaining, right? This was an entertaining fight.
Yeah.
And you stepping up to the plate and giving this guy a rematch will have people tune in.
That'll be different. That could be that fight you need in between.
That's what I'm saying. This could be the fight for him.
That could be
to propel him to a world championship fight that people actually care about watching.
Right.
For sure.
Because I think Subriel, by the time Richardson is ready to fight him, I think Subriel might have already been taken care of by Haney.
Yeah. It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now to get to that fight I was talking about.
Yeah.
Curmel Moton.
Super impressive.
An amazing. He showed out, man. It went a little longer than I expected.
Yeah. Well, let's first of all.
He's only 17. By the way,
let's give both guys props, right? So a 17-year-old fighter that's moving to about to be 3-0.
Yeah.
You would never see a young up and coming prospect normally fight another undefeated young pro.
You don't see that.
Right? You normally he say he was 18.
Right.
He would probably be fighting a guy with like 20 fights and like 40 losses.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So to even come into a fight and you're fighting another person who's undefeated, and I think they had a little
prospect.
Yeah, prospect. Yeah. I think they had a little amateur background history. That's why they did that.
Right.
And again, just all the tools.
He looked good. I don't like the tank comparisons, but he looked good.
Right. Well, I think the thing is he's going to grow into his power. Like he's literally technically a teenager fighting grown men. Right. So I definitely think he'll grow into his power, but he's super comfortable in there. You'll think that was like his 20th fight.
Right.
Hands down sometimes.
He looked great.
You know what I mean? His defense is sharp.
Right.
And he's fighting people. Usually he's a shorter guy, so he's usually in range.
Right.
And he doesn't really take a lot of punishment. He's
throwing him. He can box. He can actually bang as well. It's like he likes it. Like he enjoys it. He's great on that pivot. Head movement is on point. It's beautiful to watch. Yeah, it's like you said, I'm hoping he grows into his power, because not everybody gets that magical thing that Deontay had or that I'm going to say Deontay has. Yeah. Just respect him on that. Or Tank had. Yeah. Because I remember when Tank had the MOE on his chest, just the one tattoo on his chest, and he was cracking. He was young as hell.
He been turning people's lights
been turning the lights out. Spark. So, salute to Curmel Moton, Mayweather product right now.
TMT fighter. I want to see him make the main card. Like, I think he's good enough to be like the first fight of a good pay-per-view, in my opinion. Like, I can see that. Like, he's really good. Like, I think people need to see him.
That's a big step up though in competition.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably give him like a little, but sometimes they put 4 or 5 fights on there, and it's usually people that most novices don't know. It's like, man, you could really build this kid's career by letting people see him.
At this point, bro, they're busy with him. I feel like he's fighting like once a month right now.
Yeah, I heard him mention already. He'll be back in May.
Yeah, the man's fighting literally like once. The kid, I mean, he's 17 years old. Yeah. He's fighting like once a month right now, and it's tough. Salute to him, bro. He is tough. He is tough. I love seeing him, and I think he has a real bright future, bro.
For sure.
I think he has a real bright future, man. All right, so another fight on that card. Another guy who most don't know. I mean, we've talked about him for months now, I think. Serhii Bohachuk. Yeah. All right. So he actually had a fight against Anthony Cuba. And no, was he Cuban? No, he wasn't Anthony Cuba. That was Curmel Moton. Serhii was Brian Mendoza. And that was tough to see. I think we texted about that, right?
That was tough.
That was kind of tough to see.
Yeah,
that was tough to see.
I think Brian Mendoza. Shout out to Bohachuk? Serhii
Bohachuk.
Shout out to Serhii. Okay, you feel what I'm saying?
Serhii Bohachuk.
Shout out to Serhii, right? But
he's Ukrainian.
Yeah. I felt like Mendoza's game plan for the style of fighter that he is, like he was going to be the boxer and mover in this fight. I didn't love that for him because we'll talk about another fight on the card where another fighter who doesn't normally box and move attempted to be the boxer and mover.
Right.
I don't think people realize the stamina it takes
a lot
to be the boxer and mover for the entire fight.
Right.
And Brian Mendoza had his moments. He was able to land a lot of really good, like, strong counter punches, but he was on the ropes too much. He took way too much punishment, and it's from all of the boxing and moving.
Right.
He should have tried, in my opinion, to
sit down
and try to push Serhii back.
Right. He looked burnt out, bro. I'm not gonna front.
It was, bro. To people that maybe don't box or anything, don't know boxing, it's like when somebody tries to play point guard for a game and they don't dribble and run like that.
Right. They can't dribble and not look at the ball.
You see what I'm saying? Like the cardio he was trying to expend, and he was moving. Yeah. He was doing head movement and stuff, but he was like overly exerting himself on the head movement because you could just tell that's not his natural game plan to fight like that.
And you know what? Just to give credit to Bohachuk. Salute, because the pressure did it. The jab. He's an awkward fighter too, and that can throw you off as a guy who's not used to that. He's a very awkward fighter. Yeah, I think he might. I don't know if they looked up his metrics, but he's longer than I expected.
He's a tall dude.
He's longer than I expected, but he gave Brian Mendoza a really good fight.
Mendoza got a chin though, because he got clipped, bro. He was clipped.
He's never. He's
my knowledge.
He's never actually been down, right?
To my knowledge, I don't believe so.
Yeah, he a warrior, man.
Yeah,
warrior. But I think he was just a little too above his. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I want to say that Mendoza could be in that. I just thought I just thought that was a bad strategy.
I agree.
I agree. You know what I mean? Because he landed powerful punches and he was able to withstand some of the damage. He just shouldn't have boxed and moved like that. And then he was on the ropes way too long.
Yeah, that's not a good spot to be, especially against a guy who's gonna punch,
crack.
who's gonna crack you, like you said, but also throw shots from weird angles, and you just covering up. You don't know where it's gonna come from. It gave me shades of like Golovkin a little bit, just the awkward angles the punches was coming from. Obviously not the power. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, he don't punch like that.
He don't punch like that. Yeah. But we're gonna see more of him, dog.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that was somehow for a title.
Right.
You know, respectfully.
Interim, I think that was.
Interim title, but a title nonetheless. So we'll definitely see him again.
Right. I'm looking forward to it.
That makes the 154-pound division just so funny to me. Right?
Right.
We get a lot of really good fights from that, though, from all the belts being distributed in funny places. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of good fights from that.
I'm standing on my opinion or take from like a few months back where I said that they should be consolidated a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we should see more of the belts be consolidated in these divisions,
I
man.
agree.
Like there's a belt for everything. There shouldn't be a belt across the pond, man.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a belt across the pond. I'm sorry. There really shouldn't be, man. Take that flight, man.
There's so many belts. I think I saw the Inoue fight.
Yeah.
They upped it to like he's gonna get like the WBC platinum or some new belt that he asked for. They say, but like another belt is gonna be included in that. So
they're gonna push him, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right, so the next fight, actually, we talked about Karan Davis. His fight was canceled. That surprised me a little bit. His opponent, Elijah Garcia, actually was sick or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they do with that. If that's going to be on a future,
we should see that again. That's a good fight. We should see that again.
I agree. Okay, so moving on from that, we got Julio Cesar-Martinez and Angelino Cordova.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, we were wrong.
Yeah, we definitely were.
We were wrong. But I want to say,
what's up, bro?
If Cordova could have weathered the power, we would have been right.
But the power was the problem.
Right, because in between the big shots, Cordova was doing enough. He was boxing and moving. He had some style, right? But man, the power every time he got knocked down twice with a jab.
Martinez ain't come to play, bro.
Bro,
he didn't come to play,
bro. I don't think I've seen it. I remember Charlo.
Yeah, old Charlo.
Yeah, I remember Charlo doing it. But it's so uncommon for somebody to get dropped with a power jab.
You have to literally be off balance, but it also gotta like hit you in the right spot with the right amount of power.
He was hurt twice.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Beautiful power jab.
It ain't normal.
Yeah.
But salute to Martinez. He showed up, man.
Yeah, veteran.
And we were wrong.
he just knew too much. Cordova hadn't been there, inexperienced.
Right.
He'll be better for it,
hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah,
right. Because like I said before, man, it's either if you're one of those young prospects, it's gonna make or break you. That first loss is either gonna make you or break you.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? You can become a lifelong journeyman, or you can be a contender.
Yeah.
Or a champ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so from that one, we had something that you were correct on, and that was the Lara fight, man. And that was him versus Michael Zerafa.
Yeah, man.
Right? Was that second round, too?
Fountain of youth.
But just like you said with the Cordova fight, you got that wisdom.
Yeah.
And power is the last thing to go.
He knows too much.
1-2.
Laura's gonna be a tough out for a couple more years still. I feel like
I can't disagree
for a lot of people. Just
that Cuban system, bro.
He just knows too much. He was a master of it, right?
Right.
And I think the one thing that he has that not all of them have that come over from Cuba is that he's like durable.
He definitely is,
right? So like I don't think he's the most skilled because I think Yuriorkis Gamboa might be the most skilled, one of the most skilled fighters I've seen like in person. But I think lifestyle and other things like that might have gotten his way. But just like skill, he was super skillful.
He reminds me of Zab a little bit, like
just raw talent.
In
like
his prime.
No, you're 100% right because Zab Judah was incredible.
Zab Judah, by the way,
guys. Zab Judah skillfully. There's probably not 3 fighters in the world ever that was better than Zab Judah skillfully. He could do everything.
Hey, watch the highlights. Zab Judah versus Floyd Mayweather.
Right, and the part that's so beautiful about that is because Floyd was so special. And it's like when you see 2 guys that are special get in front of each other.
Right.
I think it took Floyd a few minutes to be like, this guy's moving like me. He's punching like me. He's reactive like me.
Faster than this guy.
Right, and that's rare. It's kind of scary when those guys get in front of each other. They're looking at each other like looking in the mirror. So I say that to say that, man, Lara's so special because he's able to put the durability with the talent that he was, learned in Cuba and all that. Right. And man, what a left hand.
And at his age,
to
still be able to do that.
Yeah.
Salute to him. Like you said, I think he's going to be a tough out for a lot of young guys, man. A lot of prospects, a lot of young guys. He got a few more checks to get for sure.
For sure. That left hand is dangerous.
1-2.
His timing is always there. He's never like reaching or like, he never does anything that looks awkward. Bro, he's always just right in his groove.
Perfect. But Zerafa like literally opened the door for him, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Don't know enough.
Exactly. Don't know enough.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a great fight, but only a 2-rounder. So moving on.
In and out like a bank robbery.
In and out like a bank robbery. All right. Yeah. All right. So Rolly Romero.
Yeah. Yeah,
I hate to laugh.
My bad, y'all.
Bro, salute to him. But I ain't gonna front. His post fight kind of made me sad. Like, damn, this is sad.
Man. Happy Easter.
And for those that don't know, Rolly Romero had a fight on this card against Issac Pitbull Cruz.
And when exactly how you called it?
Yeah,
when exactly how you called it.
Kind of did. So that makes up for being wrong about the other fight.
Yeah, when exactly how you called it.
Yeah, that one. I saw that one happen.
I'm not gonna lie. I just didn't know how Pitbull, excuse me, would be able to weather the bombs, because Rolly still was throwing some heat. He was, right? But man, that peekaboo style, right. Pitbull super durable.
Is that peekaboo style was tough. Yeah.
Man. He's tough. He's a tough dude. He's a tough out. He's gonna be a tough out for everybody.
He did a great job because Rolly was moving a lot, an excessive amount, but Pitbull did a good job cutting off the ring. Rolly didn't know what to do when he caught up to him.
That's the thing.
And he was always ready to move first, right? Yeah. So he's off balance now. Yeah. So those shots that did get in had no power on him. Yeah. Pitbull was eating everything. Yeah. He never once had Pitbull worried.
He's not used to punching going back.
No, he's definitely not. Right. He's definitely not. That what was it? Judo didn't help with that. Salute to him. Yeah. But yeah, I think I might put a clip in of his just the audio maybe of his post fight, right? Just so y'all can hear out there how sad it sounded.
It did sound sad.
It sounded sad as hell. Yeah. I'm like, damn, bro, like this is bad.
Pitbull connected with some really big shots.
Yeah.
And shout out to Rolly for being tough, because he could have quit.
He could have not accepted the fight.
Yeah, first of all, he could have not accepted the fight. Right. But then it started to get dark. He was wobbling a couple times. His legs was looking flimsy, and he could have quit. So I respect him for being tough and trying to bite down and trying to find a way. Again, I think strategy was the biggest issue there. I have no problem with him attempting to use range. I feel like he used his legs too much. Like, there's times when people are boxing and you can move too much. You know what I mean?
For sure. He was doing that.
Yeah, he was like jumping away rather than like staying in his boxing stance and almost into like a run.
This is why I said none of those punches. He was throwing arm punches because of that. None of those punches had power.
Right. He had no leverage.
None.
He had
none at all. None at all, man. And I'm going to say it, if you not, he should have stayed with his coach, man. He should have stayed with his coch. He should have stayed with Coach Bullet, dog. Yeah. I'm sorry. He should have stayed with Coach Bullet.
It's tough for guys like that to attempt to change strategy, only because he's so like awkward. Right. That he needed to use his awkwardness.
Right. Yeah. And you're making such a major change, like your coach, for the biggest fight, essentially, the second biggest fight of your career. This might be the biggest.
That's probably the biggest, right? Because a loss to Tank is like, okay.
Right. We're expecting that.
Right.
And that's you had no chance at a championship.
Yeah. 2 knockout losses in like big fights, not necessarily back to back, because he did have a win in between there.
Barely.
But still,
barely.
Right. But still, it's just like I think it was Frank Martin say like he's one more loss like that from being done.
Frank did say that.
Yeah, and I can see that. Like, you can't take punishment like that over and over and over.
Right. And just to veer off just for a quick second, you mentioned Frank Martin. Frank Martin has a fight coming up that we all know about against Tank Davis.
Yes, sir.
Tank Davis is looking good right now.
That boy in shape, ain't he?
See, he's getting in crazy shape. Some of the best shape I've ever seen him in, because Frank Martin is always in shape.
Focus, for sure.
He's always in. If you come in looking like a regular, you know what I mean? Like, and he come in looking like a Tank, that's going to be a long night. Yeah. It's going to be a very long night.
I think it's definitely a respect thing for sure.
Absolutely.
He respects the opponent.
Right. Yeah. Some may argue this is going to be Tank Davis's toughest fight. I mean, it's an argument.
It's an argument. It's an argument. It's a debate. I think Pitbull is of that same cloth. Right. I think we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right, so just to finish off the card, the PBC card, by the way. Yeah. The final fight of the night, bro.
Yes, sir.
Another one I was wrong about. God, I haven't turned my card in, bro.
You wouldn't have been.
I would not have been.
You wouldn't have been.
How that first round and the second round, I believe, was going. No, was it 4?
So what was the fight?
Okay, so Sebastian Fundora versus Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, so
the what do they call him? The
Fiery Inferno,
the Towering Inferno, and the what's Tim Tszyu's name? The Ghost Keep, the Crypt Keep. I can't remember his name, but y'all can Google it. But either way, man, it started out going exactly how I thought it would.
I'm gonna be honest.
What's up, bro?
I didn't know that Tim Tszyu was that good with range.
Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't know he managed range that well.
That was the reason why I liked him so much.
Fundora, as the taller fighter, early in the fight, Tszyu was landing really nice, like off to the right hands. And I found it interesting that Tim Tszyu was using like a pull counter. Right. Where
salute, pull counter,
Right? He was pulling straight back and was able to miss a punch.
The range was
come
perfect.
Right back over the top. Right. And Fundora couldn't really find him.
Right. That would have been a short night for Fundora if it wasn't for the cut. And for those that haven't seen that fight, Tim Tszyu got hit with a elbow.
Yeah.
Kind of like a forearm type elbow. Yeah.
I want to almost say it was almost his fault.
At the end of the round.
It was
he ducked down.
He ducked right
down.
into it. Yeah.
He ducked down. And like, Fundora's so tall. It's just kind of like one of those freak accidents. But this was definitely one of the worst cuts I've seen. I think the only cut that probably was worse was what's his name? He was on TMT for a little bit.
My guy.
Light heavyweight. He just won a championship on the Jake Paul undercard not too long ago. What's his name? Badu Jack.
It was that cut was crazy. That was the worst cut I've ever seen. The Badu Jack cut right in the middle of his forehead. Yeah. If y'all just want to Google Badu Jack cut, that's the worst cut I've ever seen. That's why I knew they weren't going to stop the Tim Tszyu fight because of the Badu Jack fight. Right. That was the nastiest cut I've ever seen.
Well, we were texting about it, and I said they should have stopped it. I still believe they should have stopped it.
So this is the thing.
You can't. My vision is impaired, bro.
So this is the thing.
What's up?
I think Tim Tszyu has to blame his corner and his uncle and his coach, because I know they had the confidence that, hey, Tszyu could get him out of here.
But it still went 12 rounds.
If all
went 12 rounds.
If all things are even, right? Tszyu probably would have stopped him or whatever, right? Uh-huh. But once you get that cut and they show you, okay, this was an accidental headbutt, within 4 rounds, if they would have stopped that fight, it would have been a no contest.
Right. So if I'm the corner, I'm not even trying to fix it.
Come on.
I'm not trying to fix. In fact, I'm digging in it like, yo, just take the pain. We're going to stop this.
Once the ref came up there with the doctor and they didn't stop it,
right?
I heard 2 coaches that I respect say that they would have gave Tszyu to the 3rd round at the end of the 3rd and just hey, if you didn't get him out of here or we couldn't stop the bleeding, that we would have just called it. So I don't know if it was an inexperienced thing. And even during the telecast, what's my man that does the he's the coach, but he's talking, he's commentating. It's Abner Mares and Joe Goosen.
Yes.
Joe Goosen mentioned that he didn't think that Tszyu's corner was using the correct medicine
product. Yeah, I heard him saying that.
So I think I'm just like, man, is this an inexperienced thing that led Tszyu to this issue? Were you not using the right medicine in conjunction with your trainer not being in a situation like this to have the foresight to say, man, maybe we should stop this?
I think they're not cut from that cloth too, though.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not cut from the we're gonna stop it cloth. Like,
but is that soft though?
I don't think it's
with
soft.
A cut like that.
I don't think it's soft.
That's
like I said, I think
that cut was bad.
I think it should not have been on his corner. I think it should have been on that medical staff. I think they should have stopped it.
I'm not gonna mention the name, but a close friend of mine couldn't even finish watching the fight because he didn't like how it was so bloody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So my thing is like, when you're fighting in a fight like that.
Who was the friend, dog? Who was the friend?
I got to get a cut tomorrow.
I already know.
I got to get a cut tomorrow. I can't mention his name.
Shout out to him, man. You know Shout out to you. I'm going to text you, man.
But bro, it's funny. Dog, like, it was really a lot of blood. And shout out to Fundora because I'm pretty sure his nose was broken.
It was.
So it's like, this guy was also fighting with like a busted mouth and a broken nose.
Right.
It was a war.
But that's a shout out to Tim Tszyu.
No, for sure.
With the cut, you still were doing damage and it still went 12 rounds. He's a warrior, man. I like Tim Tszyu even more. Even though this one loss, that don't mean nothing to me.
Nah, it don't mean a lot. Warrior. But my thing is, man, I don't know if I would have let my fighter take. Now I won't say punishment, but towards the end, he like the later rounds, Fundora was getting off a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, man,
Fundora got that confidence at that point.
Yeah, why did you let him take that punishment when they didn't need to? Y'all could have stopped that in the 3rd and we could just do this again.
But again, I'm rewinding. I'm putting it on that medical staff, bro. I'm putting it on. They didn't want to stop. You know why they didn't want to stop
PBC, it? That's PBC's first card.
Amazon Prime.
Come on now.
Let's keep it funky.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't want to stop it. It had nothing to do with being tough enough.
But if we know that, they know that.
Okay, there you go.
So
there you go. So, do you think we actually see a rematch? Do we see that? Or
I know he has a rematch clause.
Yeah, he does.
I think the cut's so bad that I think they got to give Fundora probably another fight. It's interesting because Fundora's nose has to heal, so maybe it might take enough time, and they'll just agree.
It's possible,
right?
It's possible. I want to see the rematch.
I would like to see a rematch, but something happened after that fight too. Right.
A big fish alert.
The big fish.
Call it a big fish alert.
The big fish jumped in the ring.
Or the linebacker, as Terrence Crawford will call him. Terrence Crawford called him a linebacker, man. For those that don't know what we're talking about right now, after the Tim Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora fight was over, a one Errol Spence Junior walked into the ring. Yeah. And, it was perfectly set up by Amazon. Obviously, they would love to have such a big fight on their card. I see all the business running on the back end.
For sure.
But, yeah, he walked in the ring and he did look a little chunky. I'm not going to front. He looked a little chunky.
Healthy.
Really hefty. You mean hefty? That's what you meant? Hefty? Okay. He looked hefty, as Brandon said. He looked very hefty. But he looked kind of out of place, too. I'm not going to front.
Yeah.
He looked a little out of place.
I think that's like the first time people have seen. It's been a long time. My boy got like dreads on. I'm like where Errol hair get so long?
Like he was trying to disguise himself for a little bit.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
If I put on makeup and change my hair, they won't recognize me.
I think that fight might take precedence. What you think?
I think the fight that should take precedence is what we talked about last week: Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence too.
I think I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah. But I don't know if Errol wants that, obviously, right? Because that should be there on the table for him.
I had one of my other guys mention that to me. He said Errol does not want it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Errol's built like that. I think Errol would want that fight at a better weight.
At a better weight,
because it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
Right now, the mental thing is I was drained.
Yeah.
That's what he feels. I don't agree. I think you've been fighting at that weight division. Yeah. It's on you, but it's a mental game.
Yeah.
And I believe that he is telling himself, yo, this guy.
I'm different.
At 54, I'm different. This guy, he did me like that because I was burnt. I ran hills and I did too much running. I was drained. You could see it in my face, blah, 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 blah. I think he truly believes that. At some point, you have to truly believe that.
He's a great fighter. I still don't take nothing away from him from losing to Terrence Crawford. I mean, the fashion that he lost in, very few people I think saw that it would end up like that. He got beat up.
I don't think anybody saw it.
Yeah, he got beat up. Yeah. So
and that's coming from somebody that knew that Terrence would beat Errol Spence.
Yeah, and I'm a big Errol Spence fan. Right. I don't know if you noticed, but I bought one of the shirts. We was wearing the shirts the night of the fight, man.
No way. Like, it must have been sad for y'all. Y'all was good.
Yeah, it was tough, bro. It was tough. Shout out to the big fish. But I heard Fundora's promoters say that they want to do the Errol Spence fight.
Yeah.
Just because Errol Spence is the draw in Texas. Like
he is.
He could still sell out the Star.
Errol Spence can't do nothing. He can't take a step forward until he fights Terrence Crawford again. It's kind of like that whole J. Cole Kendrick situation, bro. You need to the guy that punched you, you need to hit him back before you. You know what I mean? You're never gonna get your reputation back. You have to
get up, Craig.
Bro, get up, Craig. Yeah. You have to fight Crawford again, bro. I'm sorry. Errol Spence can't move nowhere. He can't move east, west, north, or south until he fights Terrence Crawford, bro.
I get that.
That's it.
I get that.
That's how I feel. And I'm sure he feels that.
I feel bad for Terrence because I know Errol was like, Errol used his connections, right? He's signed to Al Heyman.
Right.
He just backdoored Terrence's move.
Of course.
He's like a man without an army or something. I feel bad for Terrence.
Ain't nothing happening until that fight happens again. The Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. Neither one of them. Because Terrence Crawford right now, that's the biggest fight he can get.
For sure.
And Errol Spence right now, I think that's the biggest fight he can also get.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It needs to happen again.
Good fights though, man. Good. What a man.
The card was amazing.
Those guys are warriors, man. Right. Fundora and Zoo, man. Both guys gave my respect. That was a bloody war.
I need to see another one.
I saw Abner Mars' suit after. He sitting ringside, blood all over him.
He always be fresh too.
He was clean. He was Easter clean.
Yeah, he said something about ruined his Easter suit. Now I remember
he was clean, bro.
Salute to Abner Mars, man. Okay, so moving on from the recap. See, that was a lot. It was a lot of fights. A lot to
cover, bro.
Right, definitely had a lot, and it's been like 2 weeks. But hey, okay, so we had somebody else get called out recently. Jaron Ennis got called out by Conor Benn.
Yeah.
And we've talked about Conor Benn in previous weeks or previous episodes. So he's clearly a fighter that has showed to me, and I'm sure you might agree, he's shown a lot of improvement lately.
For sure.
He's shown that he is a problem, a very aggressive fighter. I think he's a tough out for anybody right now within the division. And I think he'd be an amazing test for Jaron Boots Ennis.
Yeah.
If they can make that happen, of course. And I think
he's a draw.
And he's Matchroom right now, right? He's Matchroom now.
So talk about that, right? Because
shout out to you. Deal.
Shout out to you bringing up Jaron Ennis and some of the issues he was having with his promoter a few weeks ago.
Right.
That's now been resolved, and now he's partnered with Eddie Hearn, and he's Matchroom. I didn't see that coming. Only reason why I didn't see that one blindsided me a little bit because I was just unaware of like the prominent welterweights that Eddie has.
Right.
But I could just see Eddie being a businessman. Like, just come rock with me and we'll get the fights if I don't necessarily have them under Matchroom.
Right.
So I respect to that.
Hey, you guys out there, go back a few episodes, right? I think like maybe 2 episodes where I said that this was the era of Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, he's running stuff.
This is Eddie Hearn's era right now.
He's moving and shaking, man. I feel like when he first got in, him and Devin worked together. I won't say that he promotes Devin. They kind of worked together.
They worked together, yeah.
Right. And Devin was like one of his primary Black American fighters.
Right.
And I feel like now with Jerron Ennis coming on, he's kind of learned how to work with Devin.
Right.
And what they should and shouldn't do.
Oh, he loves Devin. You can see how he talks about Devin.
No, he does love Devin, but I also think
business love.
Like just a small caveat. I saw this thing one time with Leonard Ellerby talking about some of the mistakes they made with Devin. And just very early on, I think one time they put Devin's fight up with like a prominent Black comedian. And there wasn't a lot of like people at Devin's fight.
Right.
And Leonard Ellerby was just saying, knowing America and knowing Black people, you should not have put Devin Haney to fight that same weekend.
Right. Don't make no sense.
You made our people choose. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I just think taking his lumps like that and kind of learning how to manage and promote a Black fighter in America. Now bringing on somebody like Jerron Ennis, a young Black fighter from Philadelphia, and just getting more American fighters in general, I think is great for Eddie and what they're going to be able to do in promoting Jerron.
Right. I can't wait to see it. So I haven't got the particulars as far as how many fights. All we got so far
just multi-fight deal.
A multi-fight deal.
Yeah.
With Matchroom, The Zone. But again, Eddie Hearn, this is his era, and he cannot miss right now. So I think he is gonna. I want to see the Conor Benn fight, and I think it can really happen now. It's not just a pipe dream. It's not just Conor Benn trying to bark up a tree. Sure. I would love to see that, and I think that'll be an amazing challenge. Yeah. It'll kind of be like we talked about Hitchens. It can be like the Hitchens Lemos fight, where you got a guy who has power and is very busy attacking a guy who can also box. So.
The style wise, it sounds like it makes a good fight. Ben's walking into a chainsaw buzzsaw.
Oh, for sure he is. For sure.
Remember,
but this is a new Conor Benn.
Villa tried that same type of thing. Yeah, he's a much bigger guy.
But Villa, I don't think Villa's Conor Benn.
I don't know if he has the power.
I don't think he's Conor Benn.
I did see Conor Benn fight in person, and he's very explosive.
His movement is crazy.
He covers a lot of ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a little different.
It'll be interesting. He got good footwork.
I don't think Jerron has had to deal with that. I'm just saying. All I'm saying as a fan, I just want to see it.
Oh yeah, you know of course I want to see it. I think it's great for both fighters, the exposure wise, and they got to do that in the UK.
Ooh, I agree.
Right, that's probably the biggest fight right now that Jerron can make.
I agree.
So let Conor Benn have his crowd.
Right.
Let him sell it out.
Right.
And win over his fans.
That'd be huge.
For sure.
That'd be huge. And I would love to see it personally. So. I think we both are in agreement that that's a reasonable next fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So as far as I think this is moving into the territory of beef and not so much a call out, because we already talked about the impossibility of this fight happening, right?
It might be possible now.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean,
is she gonna have to shrink?
Yeah, I mean, it keeps coming to this. Like, what are we getting towards?
So this is we're talking about, for those that don't know, a meeting of let's just call it a meeting of the minds between Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgardner. Again, it keeps happening. It keeps happening. So
at the fight in front of everybody,
the Hitchens fight,
at the Hitchens fight in front of everybody,
looking real.
Yeah. But you know what though?
What's up?
I kind of like it, right? Because I don't want to probably set barriers like what women and men should, what a woman can't do.
I agree.
That the men do it all the time,
for sure.
So they're professional fighters, right? I know they happen to be women, but so what, right? They're standing on business. You know what I mean?
On business,
right? You saw the person that you've been talking about for so long,
right?
And when you got in front of them, neither one of them curled. So I'm okay. I mean,
Alicia a little bit.
Come on,
keep it funky.
Alicia a little bit. But
funky.
You know what I mean? Hey, Clarissa Shields is a big girl.
Clarissa don't play it, bro. When she put that hand on her, I was like,
she's a big girl.
Alicia ain't want none of that. I was like, good. Please walk away, Alicia.
Yeah.
But this is one of those situations where I think they're battling for supremacy within the division as far as the most popular woman fighter right now. Because you got to admit it's between the two of them.
For sure.
And they'll never admit it. And I don't think many people will be brave enough to even say it behind a microphone, let alone a camera.
Yeah.
But it's jealousy. It's definitely jealousy going on. I'm not going to say from which side, because that's hard to say, but it's for sure jealousy. When you hear somebody saying, oh, she thinks she as thick as me, or, oh, she thinks she is good. It goes beyond boxing.
It definitely goes beyond boxing.
She not as pretty, because they want to say she not as pretty, but you can't say that.
You can't say that. I think one person feels like they've earned where they are.
Right.
And another person doesn't necessarily feel like that their looks are carrying them, maybe.
Bruh, again, I like to keep it funky, bro. I'm not gonna front. No disrespect to any of these women. I think they're both beautiful and amazing fighters, right? I'm a fan of the both of them.
Yeah, for sure.
But this started when Clarissa's profile raised. A lot of this started. They seemed to be cool before. Mm-hmm. When Alicia, I'm sorry, not Clarissa. I know what you meant. Alicia. You know what I meant. Yeah, I meant when Alicia Baumgartner's profile elevated. Yeah. All of a sudden, this is going on. Like, I'll leave that there. Yeah. And I'll leave that there.
I think you have to put it in perspective. Alicia Baumgartner had a really big win over another really pretty Michaela Mayer was the pretty white model girl, blonde hair, blue eye, California, right? And they put her. She was basically set up to lose to what they thought Michaela couldn't stand the power.
That was a great fight,
and Alicia won over those fans. Right, and that happens when you have those big fights.
Right.
So,
and she does the social media thing really well.
Right,
Alicia does
for sure,
and obviously
that's definitely a benefit.
Absolutely, man. She does it really well. Salute to her. I think this is a fantasy fight though, bro.
I mean, they keep having moments like this. They gotta fight. We gotta figure out the way that's. If I thought it was gonna be one of those things where they just talked and it died out. That's why I was like, I don't think we see a fight. They're kind of far off in weight. Right. But I mean, you keep having run-ins like this where you can't just keep wolfing, right? Like,
can we see a situation where Alicia Baumgartner just bulks up?
Like a catch weight, something. Has to
catch
right?
weight. I wouldn't mind seeing that, bro.
Yeah, I
would love to see, because this would be the most skilled fighter that Clarissa Shields has fought, right, and somebody who can really crack,
right,
and can really box like you. I would love to see it, because I ain't gonna front sometimes, and I'm a fan, but sometimes Clarissa's fights can be a little boring, and she could take a few. She's just bigger and stronger than a lot of girls, but I would love to see that. I still think it's a fantasy fight, but
I'm with you.
We'll all be fooled if this is just a setup for a future catchweight fight.
I mean, my thing is now thinking about it.
What's up, bro?
If we could see Crawford Canelo in our minds, why can't we see that?
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, champ.
So salute if you two women, you two amazing women, are gonna make this happen, make it happen already.
Yeah.
All right, Clarissa, you need to put on a little weight. You looking tiny right now, and Clarissa is looking like she's going the other direction.
Yeah, Clarissa's shrinking down a little bit, she might be trying to.
Right. So I would love to see it. I need to see it. And I think it's great for boxing. I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to put you in the hot seat right quick. As far as women's boxing, who's the face?
If I'm being honest,
please,
it's still Amanda Serrano for me.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said that, dog. That's what you my dog. I'm glad you said that.
It's still Amanda Serrano.
Right.
Until proven guilty.
I'm not. It's funny you said that. That's exactly. I thought I was going to trick you with that question, and you were going to pick between one of them. But it's Serrano. It's Serrano
to me.
She's earned it. Another woman who has more exciting. There ain't a woman who has more exciting fights right now than Amanda Serrano.
Super.
Every fight.
Yeah.
Every fight.
Yeah.
All right. So now that I asked you that, and you mastered that one, that was a great answer. Let me get that answer for the men.
Face of boxing?
Face of boxing right now, because it's got to be between Tank Davis, Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, Devin Haney, or possibly even Tyson Fury.
So the face of boxing still is, in my opinion, Canelo. Because he's about to fight Jaime Munguia, and that the numbers are not going to be close to anybody still. Like, when the numbers come back, they're not going to be close. It's going to be hard for people to do those numbers. Canelo's still the face.
I think I'm going. As of now, I think I'm going Terrence Crawford.
Like I think Terrence Crawford. If you ask me who's the best fighter, that's a different conversation.
Right.
But if you ask me who's the face, who's the most promotable, the most. It's to me, it's Canelo still.
Canelo, yeah.
He's a one-word person. You still got to say like Terrence.
Yeah.
You might be able to say Bud and real boxing fans know.
Right.
But all I got to say is Canelo.
Canelo is the guy who everybody sucks up to because they know it's got to be that Mayweather type payday.
Right. Everybody, it's Canelo, man.
That's fair. That's fair. And not quite Mayweather, but you know what I mean.
But in that same cloth.
In that same vein, yeah. I think what I'm noticing is I'm seeing Crawford's face a lot, and when I do see Canelo's face, it's he's scared to fight this person,
right? No,
where Crawford is, who is he gonna wreck next,
right? And my thing is, I think it's like a respect. Like I respect both guys, you know what I mean? Different. But I definitely think just in regards to it's prize fighting. In regards to the prize, it's still Canelo. Canelo's he's a
You're
prize.
right. It is prize fighting, but from that perspective, when I say one guy is in the news for he's scared to fight this or that's every day for Canelo now.
That's still news though.
And you're right. And Terrence Crawford news is who he gonna beat up next.
Right. No, for sure.
Or is he gonna even beat up Canelo? I hear Bo Mac talking about he would make Canelo look like Errol Spence. Obviously, we don't know,
right?
But it's a good chance,
right?
It's a good chance. I think Terrence is that good. So from that perspective, that's why I pick him as the face.
Yeah.
But I completely understand Canelo. That's why he was on that little short list that I made. But
yeah, for sure.
Salute to both gentlemen. If that's possible, I would love to see it, as you know. But yeah, I mean, I respect the answer, bro. I respect the answer. All right, so I think that's it for you. You have anything else you wanna
in regards to those cars and stuff? Nah, man.
All right, so let's go right to who you got, and that's it. Yeah.
Nah, wait.
What's up?
We got one more big thing to talk about.
Who?
We gotta talk about Tank.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So where you want to start with that, bro?
The only thing I want to speak on really quickly is because just this week, right? Mm-hmm. Devin's doing his media day and all this stuff,
right?
And then they start talking about records and who's fought better competition.
Right, competition, yeah.
And I have a question for the boxing world. I have a question for you.
Please.
Is Lomachenko the measuring stick in regards to other fighters?
I think I'm gonna have to say no, dog.
I don't think so either.
I'm gonna have to say no.
Right? But when you see guys talk about people's records,
right,
and who's fought better competition,
right,
first and foremost, none of the guys that we care about, Teofimo, Shakur, Devin, Tank, none of these guys have fought each other.
Nah,
we can't pick but Devin fought. We can't. None of them fought each other.
They ain't fight each
other, right? So if we're now going through everybody's record and saying this guy's fought better competition, this guy hasn't. Tank's ducking. Tank's a duck. This, that, and the third. He's fighting people that he's fighting cab drivers, whatever. I've seen all type of stuff in the comments.
Definitely in a duck. They're picking.
I think everybody is on all sides.
Nah,
I think everybody is on all sides.
Only reason I disagree is because 25% was offered, bro. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Devin Haney's team offered Shakur Stevenson 25% to fight and for all the belts, and Shakur Stevenson turned it down, and that's the biggest mistake of his boxing career.
I get that.
So no, I ain't gonna say Gervonta Tank Davis is ducking. I would never say that. He is a monster, one of the best, if not the best fighters right now.
Yeah,
but he picks.
And the one thing I'll say about each guy's resume, right?
Right.
The one thing that I like, for instance, I love Devin Haney.
Okay.
Been a Devin Haney fan since he was 16 fighting in Mexico.
One of the best guys right now.
Right, since he was 16 fighting in Mexico.
Right.
I go back that far on YouTube watching all the videos and everything.
Yeah,
right?
I remember that.
So I say that to say some of the guys that, like Regis Prograis was a huge win.
Sure. Yeah.
As a person that enjoys boxing and I never gave Regis a chance though.
Me neither.
Right?
We weren't.
So it's like that was a fantastic win.
I wasn't confused about that one.
Right? But I don't think Regis had a shot in hell.
Right.
Right?
But it's more than just a shot, right? Like to me, it's the doing what you just did at.
No, it was dominant for sure.
Right. It's doing what you just did in your previous division and then going up in a division that you had no experience in and dominating like you did. And that deserves deserves some kind of respect, bro.
It definitely deserves respect. But the one thing I say in regards to that, right? Like for instance,
what's up?
When Gervonta fought Pitbull the first time, to people that didn't know who Pitbull was, he was fighting a cab driver, right? Oh, you got a last minute replacement. This guy's there picking again.
He was definitely nice. That wasn't a pick.
So now that we're here,
that was a wrong pick.
Now that we're here, can we say that Pitbull was a good opponent?
Absolutely,
right? Pitbull was a good opponent.
Well, we see that from the fight, but to be fair. Like you just said, nobody really knew Pitbull like that. That was a huge chance for him, late pick or whatnot. They didn't. It's kind of like who had a fight like that where he picked somebody kind of last minute and it turned out a little different. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but this was a situation where I don't think Gervonta expected that fight to go like that. That was Gervonta's on like the eye test. That looked to be Gervonta's toughest fight.
Well, he did get hurt, right?
Yeah,
he hurt his hand.
We saw that.
Well, I mean, he hurt his hand. I'm not talking about like him getting hurt in the fight. He hurt his hand, and basically he boxed and
everybody say that, man.
Right?
Yeah. Everybody who has a tough experience says I hurt my shoulder.
No, the only reason I
hurt my hand
from watching the fight, I didn't really see him use the other hand that often. Once he claimed he hurt it, right? I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but
I got you.
He claimed he hurt his hand. But just in regards to some of Gervonta's opponents that they say are like layups, whatever, I just like that he fights young athletic fighters that have reactionary skills, whatever you think of them, right? Like, for instance, he's going to get in the ring again with Frank Martin coming up.
I want to see that. I can't wait.
He fought Pitbull.
I'm a Frank Martin fan. I want to see that.
He fought Ryan, right? But Devin's about to fight him now, so we can't say. You see what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Right. So
that's fair.
Right.
Bigger weight class. Ryan complained.
5 pounds.
Ryan been a little weird lately, but he's been complaining that I'm never gonna let anybody do me like Gervonta Tank Davis did me. That's what he's been saying.
Yeah, that's just when people don't know the business of boxing. He got out business by the people that have been dominating boxing.
Oh, he drained me. I was gonna die.
You got
Ryan's wild.
It's funny, but again, the IBF type of stuff, they do that all the time.
Of course, yeah.
I just say that to say again, we pick and choose these type of things, right? I like Gervonta's opponents. I think he fights young, reactionary people that at least you can in your mind say, okay, Ryan had a puncher's chance.
Sure.
Pitbull had a puncher's chance. Sure. This guy had a puncher's chance. I don't think he fights layups.
I don't think he fights layups, and I find it hard for somebody to even make that that assertion.
But it's out there. It's out there.
That's kind of wild. What I will say, we like all these guys.
We love them,
right?
Yeah.
We enjoy watching all these guys.
Yeah.
But where I draw the line, or where I kind of got to step in with, okay, this is the delineating factor. This is what separates them. The wheat from the shaft, right? Is the accolades. Because they all can fight. They're all A-level guys. All the guys.
We're going to talk about belts because some guys don't care.
We have to, bro.
Some guys don't care.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Some guys don't care about.
Don't do that.
The only reason why I say that is because you could clearly see what he cares about, and he has the most of it.
Come on. I think accolades got to mean something. I think all of them can fight at that level.
I think it's fair, right? But if somebody again, right, like Devin has the ability to, switch promotional companies almost at will as his own promoter.
Smooth business.
It's definitely big business, but I mean, if we're gonna be belt counting, I mean, as an undisputed champion, there's gonna be very few people that could even, speak to that. That could speak to that.
But it's a little more complex than just belt counting, right? And when I say accolades, it's more than just belts, right? And you mentioned undisputed, which is legendary. That's history, right?
For sure.
But it's more than that, right? It's actually having the nuts, I'm gonna just say it, to make some of these moves. I get it, but Kambosos, what really wasn't a walk in the park for all that he had to do.
Tank would have smoked Kambosos in 6.
I know. I'm not saying he wouldn't have.
6. He would have knocked him out in 6 rounds.
No. I don't want you to confuse this, right? I'm not saying anybody on anybody's resume, I'm not saying anybody would lose to him. That's not the point I'm making, right? The point I'm making, the reason why I say accolades is he actually did it.
No, he did.
It happened.
He did it. All I'm
has
saying
the most impressive resume out of all of them.
I think Teofimo Lopez's resume actually is pretty impressive, though. It's close. It's close.
It is close.
He has a great resume.
It's close, but we haven't seen Devin with the lows that we saw.
I was gonna say that's what it is. It's Teo's lows.
Still got it, man.
Because if we're looking at just resume, that he has wins. So
for sure,
the resume, he's got big wins. But just in regards to I think everybody in the world was trying to fight Kambosos when he surprised Teofimo Lopez.
For sure.
If they fight 10 times, Teo beats him 9.
Right. But again, it comes down to. At this point, you can't just say it comes down to fighting ability because they're all A+ fighters.
And he fought Teo and won. But
right. So if that's the case, if we can't talk about fighting, if we can't talk about belts, what else is there? Decision making.
You're right.
I'm gonna say decision making.
I think the one thing also that's not fair is, again, the boxing world. If they gave Gervonta Kambosos, they'd be like, "Oh, he's cherry picking."
Maybe we don't know
because Kambosos isn't a very big guy. He don't knock out a lot of people. They'd be like, "Oh, what is this?" I
like Kambosos too, but
I like him too, but. I just heard him talking to Richardson, and I didn't like that either. He like kind of did like you're not in my money bracket, and it's like, bro, you got that money from fighting Devin.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
He did.
He like little boyed him like, oh, you made 50,000 or something like that. You're not in my class.
He did him like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
That's a little disrespectful.
I didn't like that. Just like fighter to fighter, because it's like everybody's opportunity. It's really just who you're fighting,
right.
All that could change.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't turn into the Conor McGregor of
you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like that. He was talking like his skills were all that, and I don't think he's like that.
The skills are not there like that.
Like that to be talking like that.
We give it to him. He caught the guy. He caught Teo on a great night.
Good time.
I give him that.
And they claim there was a medical issue. That to me is like,
I hate that, bro. How come we always hear that when somebody's surprised? Oh, he was hurt. Pacquiao against Floyd. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, my hand. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Tim Tszyu had a gash. Badu Jack had a gash, right? Yeah. Come on. I don't want to hear none of that, bro.
No, I mean, the Teo medical issue was supposedly like a real, I was supposed like a real thing.
Bro, y'all supposed to be warriors, man. I don't want to hear
9 times out of 10, Teo washes him. No disrespect to
9 times out of 10.
This didn't mean to go to like Cambosa's hate, but I just say that to say, I feel like it's a little biased. Like, for instance, Shakur Stevenson coming up, love that guy too, but supposedly the fight hasn't been announced yet, but he's fighting the guy that Frank Martin just lost to.
Yeah.
Tank can't do that. Like, are we going to be honest? Like, if Tank just fought the guy that Frank Martin lost to, come on. It would be killing him. But we see Shakur in that same light, though. Of like, oh, he's up there with Tank. He's up there with Devin. I feel like we don't. I just feel like, right, the boxing where I'm speaking to the community right now, I feel like it's a little biased. I feel like.
So you feel like Tank gets like the short end of the stick as far as the critiques?
Of the critiques, I feel like. Okay. When people go through his resume, I feel like people nitpick. Leo Santa Cruz was a great win.
Right. That was a good win. Very good win.
Pedraza, when he beat him as an undefeated champion, was a great win. Right. So I feel like a lot of these guys fighting Mario Barrios. Barrios is going to be a 147-pound champion.
You'll never hear an argument that Tank's from me that Tank's resume is necessarily horrible. No, you won't see that. Am I still upset that none of these guys fought each other?
I think that's the part to
Absolutely.
make. None of these guys have fought each other.
But there was an opportunity. What's the name? Shakur Stevenson.
Right.
I'm not going to leave this alone because I think it was the worst decision of his career. Right. Shakur Stevenson was offered a contract, and he turned it down.
Well, I'm going to say this, right? Shakur is going to be a free agent after his fight in July.
Right.
Bob Arum came out and said it. He's a free agent after July. Right. So let's see.
We'll see.
Let's see.
Actions will speak way louder than words. Let me say way louder than tweets.
For sure. But I just feel like it's not fair. Like, for instance, I could tell that if Shakur resigns, his next fight after he wins, so he's going to win, is going to be like Navarrete. Tank or Devin shouldn't they if they fought a Navarrete, they'd be like they're cherry picking. It's just like it's just the bias of it all. Yeah. Like, I love all the guys, but don't be on one side saying this guy's ducking and he's scared. I don't think Tank fears any of those guys. Whoever, not saying who's ever gonna win. Right. I don't think he fears any of those guys. And then it's like, why are we picking this guy and not?
Sure, but you got to understand though. One thing I think you're missing is that we as fans, we love the fight in the ring. We see the hoopla on socials and when they meet up, like the Clarissa and Alicia thing. Yeah. But this is also a war between media members.
That's true too.
Right? Like
different sides of the street.
There you go. I was just about to say sides of the street.
Yeah.
There's media members that only rock with certain guys. Like who's the Jewish guy they were saying is racist? Ellie
that's my guy. I love ES News.
Ellie, I don't rock with it no more at all. Nah,
I've been watching ES News since I was like. He has some of the most fire Floyd videos from back in the day.
When you find out he's wannabe DJ Vlad, like it's like, yo, I'm good, bro. I can't rock with you. I unsubscribe and everything.
Dang, that's tough.
And salute, this is all allegedly, but I just get a weird vibe from Buddy, bro. And I don't like when you see how he's looking at people when people ain't looking. It's like you see pictures of him like looking at Devin like with a weird face. I'm like, why you? What did he do to you, bro? I'm confused. I'm confused. But he's obviously a huge Tank guy, and you get people online that are huge Devin people or huge this guy. Like, so you see the factions or the sides of the street, as you put it. Yeah. But you got to understand, it's a battle there as well. Everybody's trying to get their point across. Yeah. I mean, we obviously have a platform, but
for sure. Shout out to Devin too. I just feel like when they start picking apart other people's resumes, it's like, come on, dog. Like, none of y'all have fought each other. So what are we saying? Is it just because you and T.O. fought Loma, y'all got the best resume? Is Loma the guy? He was the one that gave y'all validation?
To be fair, I think it's not Loma. I think it's the accolades. You just said earlier, you just like 5 minutes ago, you said that Teofimo's status or his record or accolades isn't far from Devin Haney's.
Yeah.
Well, their accolades are far from the other guys.
I just think the jump up against Josh Taylor and the way he looked against Josh Taylor at 140 was impressive.
And Josh Taylor didn't look like Josh Taylor though.
Right, but he's still a live dog. And the part that made me give him more validation in regards to that win is Josh Taylor didn't move up. He's fighting Catterall at 140 again. Right. Sometimes when you see a guy on like the last leg of themselves at a weight class, maybe you're like, okay, maybe he was drained. Right. So maybe you beat him on an off night and he wasn't himself.
Sure.
But if Josh Taylor's going to fight again at 140, that means you can make 140 comfortably, which means that I'm not accepting that.
Nah, Josh Taylor's looking for redemption right now.
For sure.
He's looking for redemption. I don't think we see him with T.O. again.
Nah, he gotta earn it.
Yeah, I don't think we see that. But either way, going back to the Tank Davis situation, bro, I don't know how somebody would make that argument to try to like diminish his status based on who he's fought.
For sure,
I do get, and I'll stand on it, saying that I do think he could have fought better people, sure. But that's not comparing him to anybody else. That's just me as a fan wanting to see certain things. Now, he is one of the best guys, period.
Okay.
So he'll make somebody like a what's the Aztec
Mario Barrios.
He'll make a guy like Mario Barrios look kind of regular.
I think Mario Barrios was a good fighter.
He is a good. No, he's still a good fighter.
That's what I'm saying. Still
but
a good fighter.
Tank is a different level.
Right.
Tank is one of the best on the planet.
I feel like that credit is just like Mario Barrios is tough, bro. That's a good win in my opinion. He's a big dude at 140. I met him in person.
Mario would have gave everybody a challenge.
Big dude, bro.
For sure. For sure,
that's a good win. It's like, oh, Tank be fighting slouches. This guy, this, that, and the third. I'm like, hold up, like, shout out to all those guys, but I really think the guys on the PBC side, and I think you can see that evident in the De Los Santos fight with Shakur. Those guys are a tough one. Those guys are they may not be the biggest names, but they're reactionary. They're tough over there.
Right, I agree.
Frank Martin is not going to be an easy fight.
Oh no, I already told you. I think I'm gonna go on record now. I'm going right on record right now, and I know we've seen Tank and Pitbull, Tank and Mario Barrios. Yeah. Right now, Tank and Gamboa. Right now, I'm saying that Tank Davis and Frank Martin. Frank Martin's going to be Tank's toughest fight.
I think
Frank Martin's going to give him elements that he hasn't seen.
That's all I want to see you in there with. If you a dog, fight another dog. I just want to see you in there. I just want to see you with another dog. Until we get them all to match up, I just want to see you in there with dogs.
Right. Now, please, hey, Frank Martin, man, please, bruh. Don't make me out a liar. All right.
Be a dog.
Watch it be like 2 rounds. Knockout. Tank sparked them. Oh, this fight's boring. This
bark,
like
please be a dog.
Please bark. Please bark. Stand up. Hey, I'm hoping Frank Martin gives him a good fight. Not just because I said it, but because I'm a fan of the sport, right? I really love this thing. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that we actually do see a really good fight. But again, I'm a Frank Martin fan, man. I like Frank Martin. Obviously, I want to see him do well as well. But shout out to both gentlemen. Shout out to all the gentlemen we talked about, man. This is please don't be personal on this platform.
Resumes, and I feel like from my side, listen, I feel like I might have sounded like I was.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Come on, man.
You pro Tank a little bit, but we all got our. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm pro Tank too. Yeah, you know what I mean, I'm pro Tank, I'm pro Devin, I'm pro Shakur. Even though it's not, I just want better for the kid, man. You know what I mean? I want him to do better.
Fight a dog.
Yes, fight a dog. Just fight, dog. Fight. Yeah. Stop tweeting.
Because I feel like those who know, we know. So show us, bro. We know it's there.
Yeah.
Show us. Go in there and don't get hit and be slippery and make them look bad.
Bro, I'm tired of you talking about the gym. I'm tired of you talking about how much you did at the gym.
All the training,
all the training.
Watching sparring with me and Terrence.
Olympics. I'm tired of all of that, man. What you gonna do here, though? We done seen gold medalists come back and be bums. Yeah. We done seen that. We done, not bums, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Like guys who got the gold medal can't have a career.
Didn't live up to it.
They can't have a career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that don't mean nothing, man. What means something is right now, bro. What you gonna do right now?
For sure.
What decisions are? That's why I said decisions are important. It's more than just who you catch on an off night. Like if you're gonna say Teofimo got caught by Cambosis, or how many belts you get being undisputed, or this and forget all of that. It's the decisions you're making, and it's what you do with them decisions once you show up in that ring.
For sure.
That's all that really matters. Forget all that other stuff, bro. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm realizing, man.
Sure.
What decisions you gonna make and how you gonna show up with them decisions, bro.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. I'm hoping the best for all these guys. I'm hoping they all fight each other. Somebody got to lose. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
who you got?
Let's get it.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got? Welcome to another iteration of Who You Got. All right, so we got 2 fights, maybe 2 in the possible, but let's just stick to 2 fights as of now that we're going to talk about. The first fight that we're going to get into is Ruben Villa versus Christian Cachon. All right. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I think if I can speak for you, we both have Ruben Villa on this fight. He's actually 21-1 right now, and he's fighting a guy who has 26 fights, I think, but or 22 fights, but 6 losses. This should be a situation where Ruben Villa closes it out. And you mentioned earlier, and you can speak to that, but just go ahead. I just
gonna say I like Ruben Villa. I don't know if he has the power to get a stoppage.
Right. I wanted you to say that.
Yeah, but he should box his way to a victory. He's always been sharp.
Right.
I just get a little nervous because he kind of reminds me of like a southpaw Paulie Malignaggi, where he got a lot of boxing skill, but just not enough power to really ever deter somebody. So he's sometimes can end up in tough fights.
Right.
So Ruben Villa should edge this out,
and he's fighting a guy who's been through some battles. Yeah. Don't let the 6 losses actually fool you, or the box rec star status or whatever.
Right.
This is going to be a good fight. I don't think this is going to be a cleanup or a mop up.
Yeah.
But I still do have Ruben Villa.
I got him winning.
Actually winning this one and closing it out.
Yeah.
All right. I don't got a round for you, dog.
Yeah, I think it's going. That's going.
Might go the distance.
Yeah, it's going the distance.
Because the lack of power might. Yeah. All right. So that's that. And the next fight we have, and you had to remind me of this, bro. I knew it was coming up, but I didn't realize it came up this quick. All right.
Yeah.
And that's Big Baby Jared Anderson versus Riyad Merhi, I believe it is. I think it's Merhi, but obviously Jared Anderson, dog.
Yeah.
Obviously Jared Anderson.
Jared Anderson is a tough dude who's got all the skills. He's got to be careful on his pull counters because he gets hit pulling straight back way too much.
Yes.
So I want to see if that's cleaned up, but I think he should put on the show for us.
We'll see. My only concern with him was the mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like what his mental state is going into this
where
fight?
his mental state is.
Yeah.
So I hope he's fine as far as that goes, because I think he talked about pressure and depression and just having a lot on his plate. So as far as Jared Anderson, man, his mental is really the only thing that kind of concerns me at this point. Because we've seen him cry on camera in regards to having or feeling like the pressure of the world was on his shoulders as far as family, et cetera, et cetera. I can only imagine. But
stop running from the police, though.
Yeah, chill out, big boy. Chill out. What are you doing? Who you got around you? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But either way, I still got him in this situation, in this fight. Knockout.
I want to see him put on the show.
See.
Hopefully, he puts on the show.
Definitely want to see him put on the show, man. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, man, we had two for you on who you got. If you can think about anything else, this is the moment.
That's it.
Other than that, man, this was a dope show, brothers. Sure. Salute to you. It's been a pleasure. And I hope you guys out there enjoyed this episode.
Had a blast.
Hey, I'm still calling it. We the best duo in boxing media. Name another, ain't another.
Ain't nobody messing with us. Let's go.
Nobody. All right. Pull counter, y'all. Appreciate y'all showing up. All right. Bam.
Follow the Pull Counter Podcast on IG and YouTube at the Pull Counter Pod and at Pull Counter Pod on Twitter. Available where you get your podcast. Show your host some love at WendyAntoine5 and email the show at the Pull Counter Boxing Pod at gmail.com. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting the movement. And remember, leave 5 stars, share the love. Peace.
That was fun.